Well, major Gyökeres to Arsenal transfer boost. Guys, it's really important to note that Gyökeres to Arsenal is still on the eyes of very many people on the world. And by the way, even if you obviously go out there and put out a poll on X, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and everywhere, even the YouTube post community, guess what happens? It's all about one thing known as Gyökeres edging Benjamin Sesko. All not to it that Arsenal is looking at two strikers right now, Benjamin Sesko and Gyökeres. And guess what? There is a huge boost that you are here to know about this. We are going to be diving a little bit into the Savinho Foden story that happened while they're really eliminating Juventus. I think they related it, was it 5-2 in the last game of the group stages, and then Enzo Maresca having a very huge output all burst out to the organizers of FIFA Club World Cup that why do you obviously put a game in Charlotte, yet you know that it's really troublesome when it comes to weather. And this has been really the order of the day in all the pre-seasons, that games in Charlotte find themselves really not sometimes ending in 90 minutes. Sometimes they got paused, they really get paused for an hour, 30 minutes, and then they get replayed. Something that the manager of Chelsea didn't like, but he later went ahead to obviously rectify what he really meant, and it looked like an apology to FIFA, the organizers of this tournament. So, where should we start from? Now, we have a story. This is it's Dean James of AFC. He told us that Union SG are asking for around £11 million for £13 million for striker Franjo Ivanovic. Sporting Lisbon will move for the forward once Viktor Gyökeres leaves. An alternative option is Romulo Cardoso of Gotsepe. That is it. Now, they're asking for this amount of money, and guess what? This takes us to the major boost that we've been talking about. This is Seb Krivian Foot. Arsenal have received a major boost in their chest for Viktor Gyökeres as Sporting Lisbon make a 17 million bid for Union Berlin striker Franjo Ivanovic. Now, looks like they've gone ahead to really understand that it's obviously going the way Arsenal wants it to be. That Viktor Gyökeres is going to be leaving the side of Sporting Lisbon. And I tell you, when you're a club like Sporting Lisbon, before you sell a player like Viktor Gyökeres, you have to first get in his replacement. That is it. And that is common sense. And that's why I was like, in the first story, if you sell Gyökeres and you go in for striker, teams will obviously call in for large sums of money. What you have to do is bring in this player, all agree a deal with the club before Gyökeres leaves, you know? And then, after he leaves, obviously you lose the money that you've obviously gone ahead to really get him from which is obviously less the amount of money that they would have gone ahead to ask you. So all I understand about life, it's all about doing things the right way and really having what we call a strategy. You understand? So Sporting Lisbon are really playing their card right, and they are almost getting this player at the same price they got in Viktor Gyökeres. Remember, Viktor Gyökeres' guaranteed fees was 13 million euros from the side of Coventry to the side of Sporting Lisbon. And guess what? They're almost doing more, like 7 million euros from the amount of money they really got this guy from the side of Coventry. So they're mastering the art of their business, and you know to it that they cannot go in and really bring in players expensively. All they have to do is go on getting these players on the cheap, after getting down these players on the cheap, do the needful. What's the needful? Go ahead and really put in the required shift altogether that this player will feel at home. So that means Arsenal are really advancing in this deal. And guess what? Viktor Gyökeres will be a player for Arsenal, unless otherwise, things change. But you all know how far and how much Arsenal have gone to put into this deal that they cannot let it shrink like that or go south. And the moment you hear them going in for replacement, just get to know that the player is on the move. The player has come out and said, I'm not playing with Sporting Lisbon for the preseason. That is it. So just let me go. Looks like he's sending them a message that, please, just let me go. Just let me be as Viktor Gyökeres and don't really act rude on me. I've been here for years. I've gone ahead to do lots of things for you, and you have to pay me back by selling me to the club that I want and taking the 60 million euros guaranteed fees plus 10 million euros of add-ons that the teams that are really interested in me are really willing to offer to you. Simple business. And I think the president has gone ahead to feel the pressure, and he has succumbed to the pressure from Gyökeres and his entourage. That's why he has gone ahead to bid or make an opening bid for the striker of SG Union in there for you, and he wants to bring him on to replace Viktor Gyökeres. So we are waiting to see how things pan out, but looks like we're heading into a very, very big week, because today is 29th and players are returning to the preseason on the 7th, and I think all what Gyökeres is praying for is if it doesn't reach 7th when he hasn't obviously left the club of Sporting Lisbon. And I think even Sporting Lisbon also want to start their preseason with a new striker in to get used to the system of Sporting Lisbon, because Gyökeres had mastered the craft of playing into that system very, very well. It looked like he was the key to really unlocking what we call the stratum, it's called the stratum, you understand, of every team, the layers all of rock, in all the defenses that he has gone ahead to face. He has gone ahead to obviously unlock that stratum in there. So that is all about Viktor Gyökeres and the side of Arsenal. And guess what? Even Man United is still in the queue to convince this player to join them. And this is where Arsenal has to obviously act fast and get this deal over the line. Now, Chelsea yesterday went ahead to beat Benfica 4-1, but this game almost paused for hours to see to it that it really comes to completion. It was suspended at a certain bit, and then it came back, and by the time it was suspended, Chelsea was leading by 1-0. And now, Enzo Maresca, firstly, he said the following on the weather. He said, "It's a joke. It's not the same game if you stop it for 2 hours. I understand the stoppage for safety reasons, but if there is a risk for this, Charlotte is probably not the right place to play such a game of football." So he's like, Charlotte is not the best place to play this kind of football. And I tell you, he's right, because it's a game of football is always planned for 90 minutes. Each and every time the manager is coming in through, he plans for 90 minutes. And because it's a knockout, for the extra time and then the penalties, you understand, those are like 120 minutes. But if it really exceeds that, I don't think that it continues to make what we call viable sense. So after putting out this statement, he had to put in a clarification on what he meant, because I think the organizers felt really being pinched onto the bone marrow. And he came out and clarified and said, guys, please don't misunderstand me. I said it's fantastic competition. It's the FIFA Club World Cup. It's top. We are happy to be in the last 8. We are the people to win all these kind of games. All these kind of things. But we have had 6 or 7 games suspended. It's not normal to suspend a game in a World Cup. How many games are suspended? 0. Probably in Europe, how many games are? 0. We are here 2 weeks and they already suspended 6 or 7 games. So his point was really valid. He added and said, there is some problem for me personally. I'm talking as a manager, because when you are 2 hours inside and you try to keep players in the game, but for 2 hours they are speaking with a family outside for safety reasons, they are eating something, they are playing games and laughing, how can you keep them 2 hours inside focused? It's a joke. That's what I said. So his worry was all about how to keep these players in a very good shape, to see to it that they keep going and don't really feel like they should let this off their mind, keeping them focused onto the game, because that it is obviously going to resume in 2 hours. And he's like, these players are obviously gonna be talking to their families, friends, telling them that they are safe, you understand, and others will be playing games. So the manager is like, how do I really keep their brains intact onto the match, you understand? And he really understand, and he says in this area 6 out, I think 7 games have been suspended. So he says games shouldn't be played in Charlotte anymore. That is it. Games shouldn't be played in Charlotte anymore. You understand? So I really understand his pain. I understand his pain as a manager, and he's like, we shouldn't be playing games in Charlotte anymore, because weather forecasters already send signals that something is going to happen, but why should a game be played around that time? So I think FIFA Club World Cup organizers, that is FIFA, should obviously look through this and really understand that it's not obviously a joke, So we wait to see how Enzo Maresca really goes ahead to do that, but he went through and is into the quarterfinals of the tournament, and he's in the way of Man City. If Man City win, they'll obviously have to face Chelsea, I think, or Palmeiras. That is it. So from there, let's go to the game that saw Man City beat Juventus by 5-2. There is a goal, I think, was it the second goal? Yeah, I think it was the second goal that Man City scored. It was a Savinho Foden connection, but Reinders was the man that played in a player known as Savinho. So Savinho went ahead and obviously had an empty net, took off, went past the goalkeeper, and everyone thought that he would have gone ahead, obviously look and really shoot it himself, but he passed that ball to Phil Foden. And when asked on his assist for the Foden Juve goal, he said, I didn't talk to him about taking away a chance to score because I don't know how to speak English. I dribbled past the goalkeeper, he scored. In the end, what matters is winning. I scored too, so that's okay. So if you really look at the frames of this particular encounter, right, it speaks volumes that unselfishness is why certain games are really won and why certain games are really lost. Because when you look at this frame, look at that frame very well. Have you looked at it? When you look at here, this is Savinho. He has taken off the goalkeeper and is like, the ball has gone to the vicinity of Foden. Let Foden do the tapping, because here he would have even gone ahead to use his right foot to place that ball in the back of the net, but he didn't, and was like, please do take your chance, it's your moment, go ahead and really enjoy it. So that is exactly what big teams that really win do, and they continue doing things like this for a very long period of time. So Savinho is really one of those that is really unaffected with this, and he's like, all right, I don't speak English, and at the end of it all, we went ahead to win. So your thoughts on to major Gyökeres to Arsenal transfer boost on, and then we are calling in for your reactions into the comment section below about Enzo Maresca commenting about the weather in Charlotte that no game should be played there again. Do you believe or agree with him or not? And then there is another guy called, what's his name? Savinho and Foden connection for that goal. Do you think Savinho really felt irritated by Foden, or he intended it to pass the ball to him and see to it that he really buries at the back of the net? So thank you very much for watching through. Rokani David is my name. We out for now. See you later, and bye-bye, my people.